Hey, good morning. Patricia Murphy here. It's Saturday. This is Seattle Now. Today we're bringing you stories from public radio stations around Washington. First, a story about financial aid in Washington state. High school seniors are staring down their last semester, but completions of the FAFSA, or Free Application for Federal Student Aid, are dropping. SPR's Eliza Billingham reports how Washington state is trying to encourage every student to apply for the college aid they qualify for.
The January dip is well known to school counselors and administrators. It's when all the momentum built up in the fall to get students to complete FAFSA starts to drop off. At their last meeting of 2025, the Washington Student Achievement Council reiterated its goal to get 46,000 high school seniors to complete FAFSA. Council Research Associate Natalie Alvarado said they also want to close the gap between students who qualify for free and reduced lunch and those who don't.
FAFSA completion among free and reduced price lunch eligible students is 5 percentage points lower than those not eligible. So if we don't focus on this gap now, we're at risk of falling further behind on the students who need the aid the most.
Some initiatives are already working. Alvarado said after 9 Mile Falls School District got connected to one of the council's partnerships, its FAFSA completions shot up to 50% by the end of the year. That's compared to 11% the December before. Now, the Achievement Council is trying to keep the momentum alive during the January slump. Educators suggested reminding students that FAFSA made it easier to create an account by nearly halving the number of initial questions. Plus, completing FAFSA doesn't mean you're agreeing to go to college. It can just add to the number of options that a young person has, because the council says it's completely normal to not know what you want to do after graduation. I'm Eliza Billingham, reporting.
It's never a bad time to prep for natural disasters, but for some, it can feel daunting. The recent flooding across Washington state is a good reminder of how important it is to have an emergency kit on hand. KNKX reporter Mitch Borden started putting together his own kit and brings us this story.
Earlier this year, when I moved to Seattle from West Texas, I started reading up about huge earthquakes and tsunamis. It didn't take long for me to get overwhelmed. But after recent flooding, it felt like it was time to assemble an emergency kit. So I went to a Goodwill with KNKX's Izzy Ross to look for supplies.
Probably wouldn't want like a pleather blazer.
No, I don't think a pleather blazer is what we're looking for. Probably more like this, like winter coat.
Yeah. So a down or...
Oh, LL Bean. The goal of this shopping trip was to find affordable warm clothing and some sturdy shoes to throw in a go bag.
Okay, there's boots up there.
Yeah, and there's plenty of tennis shoes.
Lots of tennis shoes.
I always tell folks, just start looking at home and going through your cupboards, going through your closets to see what you have.
Tay Thatch is with Seattle's Emergency Management Department. According to her, gathering supplies doesn't have to be expensive, and you can just start with the basics.
Food, water, medicine, and then continue to add when you can, and just keep it simple.
The state recommends having enough emergency supplies to last for 2 weeks. That includes about 14 gallons of water per person. Officials also recommend having a grab-and-go kit that can get you through a few days. This could be a bag that has a flashlight, some shelf-stable meals, copies of important documents, even a book you might enjoy. Basically stuff you can easily pick up as you head out the door.
When the ground starts shaking, you don't want to be running to the kitchen, to your bedroom to gather those items. You want to be able to just grab that bag.
I still don't have everything for my kit, but Thatch says that's okay.
It does not have to be perfect, but the important thing is to start.
Now in my apartment, a backpack sits quietly by the door, filled with supplies, just in case. I'm Mitch Borden, reporting.
And finally, a story about community and card games. Wenatchee veterans don't have a local Veterans Affairs Center. As a result, some vets there are struggling to access resources. A new weekly game night is hoping to remedy that and help build community. NWPB's Murrow fellow Renee Diaz has more. A heads up, this story talks about mental health challenges.
On a weeknight inside a card shop in Wenatchee, tables are set up for a game with mythical beasts, spells, and creatures. It's for a game known as Magic the Gathering. Zach Knight, a Marine veteran, and Kevin Coleman, a U.S. Army veteran, sit at Core Cards and Collectibles. They meet here every Tuesday and battle it out with a deck of cards. As they set up the night's game, they explain how it all works.
A fantasy card game. You can build whatever kind of deck you want to build. You can build it off demons or angels or dragons. And
you take out the other person's life total.
It's all luck-based, just like a casino, but you get to design how the deck works.
Combat in the game is low stakes by design. You choose your attackers, your blockers, and weigh the risks. This group is known as Veterans the Gathering. Coleman says it's a safe place for him.
It's like a big brotherhood. We crack jokes on each other and make each other feel better. And if any of us are down, we got any one of them to talk with.
Paul Stayback, Coleman's therapist, organized the weekly gathering in Wenatchee. Stayback is a chapter president of Combat Veterans International, a nonprofit that provides services and organizes the games. He used to work at Central Washington Veterans Counseling, but with uncertainty about federal and state funding, his contract was terminated.
Veterans Day was my last day providing mental health services in Wenatchee. I knew that was going away. I was trying to find another outlet for them.
But Coleman says it's challenging to find help. He says he lost several of his friends to suicide.
What makes it important is so we could keep the heroes, my brothers and sisters, alive.
Stayback says negative stereotypes about veterans are also challenging.
When we have things like happened with Decker at Leavenworth, that stokes fear into people because Hollywood highlights violent behavior, and it does create fear and uncertainty.
Travis Decker was wanted in connection with the killing of his 3 daughters this summer. He was found dead. Decker was a veteran, and that detail saw a lot of coverage.
When there's already an absolute bias in society about veterans, especially with PTSD, with the potential for being violent, and then you throw in this horrifically violent tragedy that just by mentioning what groups they belong to associates others with it. That's challenging. My clients really struggled.
This space gives them the opportunity to talk with people who can understand the issues veterans face.
Having that space where they can come together, not have to worry about sounding too aggressive, could be off-putting for somebody who hasn't experienced it. And being able to be their authentic selves within this group is really important.
Katie McNamara works at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. She specializes in treating individuals with job-related trauma, like veterans. McNamara says that while games like Magic can't be replaced for therapy, games like these can be helpful because
people are in their prefrontal cortex, not their fight or flight, and they are calmly interacting with fictional characters. They're able to just relax into safety.
The concept of Veterans the Gathering is spreading. Other card shops in Washington started their own versions. I'm Renee Diaz, reporting.
Let's get into this game.
Appreciate you listening to Seattle Now, and thanks to our generous financial donors for your support. You can help us out by clicking the link in the show notes, following and rating the show on your podcast app. Our production team includes Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Vaughn Jones, Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, Andy Hurst, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you soon.